On fait un petit tour et vous êtes sur la rivière la Lys maintenant. On a aussi l'Escaut. Les deux rivières ont leur source au nord de la France, se confluent. Et le mot grand, par exemple, ça veut dire confluent. Ça vient de Ganda dans la langue celtique. Ça c'est confluent. So most of the time we will stay on the river Leie, the Golden River, some say. The source is in northern France. A bit further, the Leie makes a final curve. Then you can pass a lock. Then you're on the Scheldt, the other river, and that's to Antwerp. So where the rivers meet was a Celtic community in the 5th and 6th century. Ganda, and that means confluence in that language. And then, later in the 7th century, a Frenchman Christianized the region, Saint-Amand, Amandus. He founded both abbeys, Saint Peter Abbey and Saint Bave. Au 7e siècle, le Saint-Amand, il a christianisé la région, et il a fondé les deux abbayes, Saint-Pierre et Saint-Bavon. Des abbayes très riches aussi, ils avaient des propriétés en Angleterre aussi. Comme ça, déjà au XIIIe siècle, les Gantois ont creusé un canal vers la mer du Nord, la Live, et on est sur le canal à la fin de l'excursion. The abbeys in Ghent, you can say, had flourishing days in 11th, 12th century. They also had property in England. Already in the 13th century, we made a little canal to the North Sea. The Lovely is the name of that medieval canal. We will be there at the end of the tour. You know, on the left is a big fortress. We will see it later, the Castle of the Counts. The neighborhoods on the left-hand side here belong to the fortress in the Middle Ages. And the neighborhood here on the left is Patershol. It's the name of the neighborhood. Pater is friar. There is a monastery of the Carmelites here. But it stays like this. Looks like a labyrinth. You won't get lost now. Trendy neighborhood since the 80s. Today you find here the top restaurants in the medieval neighborhood. Donc le quartier à votre gauche, c'est le Patershol, le trou du curé, littéralement traduit. Ensemble avec le quartier à côté, c'est le vieux bourg. Le quartier appartenait au château fort. Et c'est resté comme ça, avec des petites ruelles, c'est très pittoresque là. Et c'est le cœur culinaire. Il y a beaucoup de restaurants dans le quartier. Aussi le monastère des Carmélites. Et ça, c'est une salle d'exposition. So that's typical in Ghent, you know, you have houses of 5 different centuries in one street, also something modern. But you're in Ghent, not in Bruges. Bruges is also very nice, but that's more the Middle Ages. But both cities were not so heavily bombed during the 2 World Wars. But here in Ghent, the industry did more damage. Ghent was a cotton city in the 19th, the second Manchester. Then it got overcrowded here. But many monuments disappear. Like here is a God's house on the left-hand side. Huis van Alleen. C'est une maison de Dieu. That's of the 14th century. And in those days, the corporations had a God's house for poor and sick brothers. These are all little houses with a courtyard and a chapel. Looks like Beginage, it's not the same God's house. It can be charity or the corporations had it. Poor people in those days had to pray in the chapel all day, and then the rich could go to paradise. And that was the meaning of all that, with 2 million virgins or whatever you want. It's a nice museum. There is an exhibition about indoor cycling. You know Sir Bradley Wiggins, also born in Ghent. La maison Alleen, c'est le musée de folklore maintenant, mais à l'époque une maison de Dieu. Il y avait 26 comme ça. Il reste encore 2. Pas à cause des guerres, parce que centre historique à peine bombardé. Mais l'industrie, 19e, Une partie du 20e, c'était en plein centre, hein, surtout textile, hein, coton, le lin. Mais c'était pas très joli à Gand et beaucoup de monuments ont disparu aussi. Et vous voyez, c'est un autre décor ici, hein, quelques usines. Well, here you have another scenery. You can't ignore the industry in Ghent. Textile, first they mechanized cotton. Cotton came from the United States, and then linen was mechanized. But more than 100,000 people from the countryside come to Ghent in about 50 years' time. So at the end of the 19th, we also suffer from cholera and these things. It's not so nice then. And then they start with public works in Ghent for special occasion, the World's Fair. We organize it, 1913. Very bad timing, just before the war broke out. But in those days, the little canals and ditches in Ghent Centre were all closed. Because you have to imagine, Ghent once 15 little islands. Like here on the left, that was a little canal. Schip, gracht, street names ending in gracht is ditch, canal. But that was all closed then. Here, at the end of the river almost, last curve, so here we turn back. If you pass the lock, you have two options. You're on the Scheldt, the big river to Antwerpen, but there's also a canal, and that's the most important for Ghent. From here to the Netherlands, Terneuzen. It's not the open sea, but Westerschelde. And that was made after Waterloo, because that was a short period. We were together with the Netherlands. The days of King Willem I, he founded Ghent University, and thanks to him we could make a new canal. Donc c'était un petit canal ici, lange schip, gracht, gracht, fosse, canal. Mais comme on a eu choléra à Gand en fin 19e, on a commencé avec des grands travaux publics ici, on a fermé presque tous les petits fosses dans le centre-ville. Mais c'était un peu comme à Bruges, Gand c'est une quinzaine de petites îles aussi. Selon Victor Hugo, il a visité Gand en 1865. Gand c'est une île sans frontières, ça il a écrit dans son journal. Où les deux rivières se confluent, on a la ruine de l'abbaye Saint-Bavon aussi. Et là-bas commence le grand canal vers l'Escaut occident, vers les Pays-Bas, le canal le plus important aujourd'hui. The buildings on the left-hand side, that were no textile factories, but like here was a sugar refinery, red building. The Ghent River Hotel used to be a steam bakery, so industrial bakery with hot water ovens and steam engine. All the buildings on your left-hand side were property of the Socialist Cooperative, De Vooruit, Forwards. You had it in many European countries. It's the forerunner of the labor trade union, the socialists. And they were very strong in Ghent. One of the reasons that we say Ghent is the second Manchester, is the first mayor of Ghent. That's the days of Napoleon. Then we talk about mayor. But our mayor was a common thief. They hate him in England. He was sentenced to death, an industrial spy, because he stole a machine in England, a mule, Jenny, is to spin cotton. He smuggled the machine to the mainland. That's one of the reasons why it goes so fast, because then we had state-of-the-art machines. Donc, une des raisons que ça va très vite ici, l'industrialisation, c'est le premier maire de Gand. Un ami de Napoléon, Lievenbouwens, un homme d'affaires, mais un grand voleur aussi. Il a volé une machine de spinning Jenny pour filer le coton, à voir dans le musée de textile aussi. Mais le maire de Gand, un espion industriel, il était condamné à la peine de mort en Angleterre pour espionnage industriel. Et ça, c'est une des raisons que ça va très vite. Et c'était dans les murs, le mur ici a disparu en 1860 seulement. À gauche,